morning, everyone. Vanakkam. I'm joining from Dr. Srimati was talking about Colorado. So I'm joining from Denver, Colorado. Its time is 10:50 p.m. But it also gives me an immense pleasure and privilege to be part of this global Tamil community. It's something that I take deep pride, and I'm thrilled to talk to each and every one of you here. I want to start with uh, what we are facing in terms of paradigm shift. What we are going through is something very different right now. It's called AI era, right? Artificial intelligence era. And I want to speak not only about the future of Sri Lanka, but also the future of Northern Sri Lanka, and then economic progress, dignity, and prosperity of all the people in that area. So this conversation is not about the past, and I want to pause and understand and let you guys know my journey also. Right, I was born in Tamil Nadu, India. I did my engineering 1994. Joined Indian Air Force. I was a grew I grew into as a major in the Air Force. I led operations for 10 years across different parts of India. From there, I migrated to North America to pursue my master's in business administration. And from there, I had managed large teams, global teams, especially in data analytics and cloud computing. I've been with, I've been with Microsoft for last 10 years since Azure was born, and have been shaping the solutions and strategies for our large customers, how we can drive the transformation, how we can build solutions, how those solutions can create more opportunities, entrepreneurial opportunities for the company as well as for the globe. So that's what I am focused in and very passionate about it. So, like Srimati was telling, Dr. Srimati was telling, it's not about where we are right now. It's about dreaming big and also taking action on those dreams, right? So that's very important for us to understand. Um, the world is globally connected. Of course, there are challenges right now we are all facing through, but you have to understand there were barriers earlier to drive innovation and monetize it. What we call earlier we used to call as technology transfer issues, IP issues, and everything. Now, with the innovation that is happening and shaping up with artificial intelligence, technology is no longer a barrier. So you need to understand artificial intelligence is completely reshaping the global economy. For the regions that were historically underserved, like North, and disrupted and left behind, uh, AI, artificial intelligence, is a technology that can bridge the gap, right? So when the innovation happens in, let's say, any part of the world, for example, North America, we create new models, new solutions, new platforms and technology. It is readily available to a nooks and corners of the world. So that is what we need to think about, how we can leverage this very dynamic shift, the shift that we could never believe earlier would happen, is happening right now. The platform is available to everyone that needs access, that has the drive and can access the technology. That is what uh, we need to aspire for. Can we get this innovation? Can each and every university, is what we call clusters, can they drive innovations at scale? That's so important. Can we promote entrepreneurship? Can we educate our students, not at the colleges and the universities, but also from the school level in this technology? Because there is nothing like being in front and center of this technology and innovating in products and services and globally monetizing it, right? So traditional economic development relied on large capital, heavy infrastructure, and centralized industries. but artificial intelligence era is very different. Today we are talking about human intelligence, digital skills, innovation, entrepreneurship, and global connectivity. And I strongly believe that we have these skills, this human intelligence, innovation, or entrepreneurship, is well deep rooted in the Tamil community and across the globe, right? We have a strong emphasis on education. So if you think about Kaledi as a civilization, we were able to write 2000 years before. There is ancient literature, from Tolkappiyam to all the Sangam literature, everything. We were able to write in a way that it is wonderful storytelling as well as a heritage and cultural impact for everybody that who reads the literature. So, and our Chettiars from Tamil community has gone and done trade all over the world, and we have our people have migrated to all over the world, creating entrepreneurship, huge industries, and economic prosperity. Right? I'm not just telling only about Tamil community as a whole, but entire Sri Lanka, whether whichever language you speak, it doesn't matter. What matters is, are you primarily driving innovation, and do you have a spirit of entrepreneurship? Because intelligence is now a commodity with AI era, right? There is a model for every single domain that you can think of, for healthcare, for manufacturing, for agriculture, for drug development, anything and everything. You have Einstein in your hand. So you need to think with this kind of human intelligence, which probably would take us entire our lifespan to read, understand, and learn. It is not available at your fingertips. With this, can we build this entrepreneurial spirit and educate our children from the school level in this technology and infuse capital and drive this innovation, that innovation in products, innovation in the way we educate, innovation in healthcare, in agriculture, and then create the GDP and economic growth and prosperity within the island, but also sell those innovation across the borders, right? And with this technology available, it is now very easy for you to monetize these innovations across the globe. That creates one, job opportunity. Number one, creates a cluster of entrepreneurs that can collaborate and then create a center of excellence that can bring investment back into the island, right? So that is what I call as building innovation clusters across northern Sri Lanka, starting with universities, startups, small businesses, investors, government, and like diaspora network like us. How can we cooperate well, especially in the regions of Jaffna, Kilinochchi, Mullaitivu, Mannar, and Vavuniya? And we can create an AI-enabled clusters that aligns with local strengths. So I want to make sure that the message is landing well, that we live in an era of AI that has no barrier to entry. Technology is accessible to each and every one. The only thing that stops us is our own desire to conquer, right? So thinking big. You can dream big, but you can also think big. But at the same time, you have to put your mind and time to continue learning this technology. Learning the domain is another area you have to think about. And by the way, this technology is not about only IT or developers. This is available to each and everyone, whether you are in digital marketing, agriculture, I mentioned, whether it's space technology, like Dr. Srimati was talking about, whether you are in finance industry, healthcare. So these can drive innovation in every single domain, including drug development. So you can have this AI and digital services cluster per domain across all the verticals, right? Whether it's manufacturing or factories, and with proper training and infrastructure, the youth of Tamil community and the northern part of the Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka as a whole can serve global markets sitting there. That is an important thing. And in terms of education, AI, and knowledge economy, AI can transform this region into an export region, right? That means you can build an online learning platforms, and you can also serve that globe with AI assisted tutoring, and you can build a vernacular translation technologies, build research and innovation centers, and create a long-term intellectual capital. That's what we need to have. It's not a short term, it's not something that we start and stop. Once we start it, you build a long-term intellectual capital across the board, right? For we have to sustain it. And the other thing you also can think about is agri-tech and fisheries and innovation. How do we improve crop yields? How do we optimize irrigation? And how do we predict weather and market demand? And once you have this innovation, what happens is capacity building, right? Innovation will happen when you build a capacity. The capacity building should start at the school level and mature into college and universities. Once you have that, what happens is you attract investment back into the community, starting with rural prosperity, right? What we have in northern sector, but also you can bring investment back into this community from the diaspora, right? So that means setting up global capability centers, setting up development centers, and setting up product and market innovation centers, and all those things. So if you think about it, building capacity and skills at the foundation level, whether you start with school or collaborating across different universities, different colleges, and building the capacity and skills is the fundamental need, the most important need to attract investments back into that. With investments coming in, we are looking at not a low paying jobs anymore. With this technology, we are looking at very high paying jobs, right? It's not high paying jobs. I'm talking about very high paying jobs. And because of the nature of people, the heritage and the value system we have as a community, you will get more and more investment back into this island. But someone has to start it, and someone has to leap forward. And I don't see a better place to leap into this technology and create those kind of clusters and ecosystem than the northern Sri Lanka, right? Because I'm so passionate about my people. I'm also very intrigued by the resilience and perseverance and the strength we have built over centuries, not over decades, right? So as I mentioned, think about Rajaraja Cholas. The Cholas have conquered everywhere, and we had the ship technology, we had education, we have everything from architecture to engineering to building to all the innovation that we had at that ancient times are still marvel. People are still marveling at how we built those temples, right? And then you think about uh, people who migrated to South Africa, to Java, Sumatra, to Malaysia, Singapore, and West Indies island. We have been always, taking the challenge head on and reaching that nobody has reached. Yeah, it's great to reach space and create a technology that is such wonderful leading edge technologies. But we do have opportunity right now. You don't have to travel. You don't have to even cross the seas, but you can drive these products. You can create this product and services that now spans across the ocean, right? So that is what we need to think about. And I want to tell a small story, right? In terms of when in the middle of like 10 years, 15 years before, I'm very fortunate to born to a mother who set up the first women's university in Asia. It's called Asian Women's University in Chittagong. And when the university was formed, the first thing she did is she flew to Jaffna and picked up some of the wonderful little children and then put them in Asian University in Chittagong. And I hope, and I'm sure we don't have to do that anymore because there's a huge government support. The country is willing to progress and they're making wonderful steps. And you have to think, people have done amazing things to this island with the partnership we have across the globe. But at the same time, what is very important is to continue to have this resilience we had, continue to have this aspirations we have, and continue to believe in ourselves that we can make it happen. And I have no doubt in my mind that entrepreneurship and innovation will flow into every single person that is well skilled in this area. Every village in North can become a node in a global economy, right? So the true economic progress is not about GDP. It is about dignity. It's about choice. It is about the hope, right? And no other country needs that more than Sri Lanka. And we have to build the hope. We have to build with dignity. We have to build with resilience. That is the very nature of us. To support this, what I would tell is, we must encourage startups from schools and universities. And I'm personally invested in that. We do a lot of programs for Tamil Nadu with Tamil Nadu government. I work a lot with Tamil Nadu government in bringing access to technologies, in bringing skills, and we do have personal investment that is happening with some of the venture fund that I'm partnering with, and we can evaluate. And one of the things I'm proud to say, we have a deputy high commissioner of Sri Lanka in Chennai, um, Ganesh and Kedishwaran, and is such a dynamic personality. I'm proud to call him as my friend. And he has been networking like anything, uh, amazingly networking to bring folks like us and into to Sri Lanka and see. And one of my uh, good friend as well as Microsoft Gold partner, Mr. Ganesh, is going to be there. This another Ganesh is going to be there today, and he probably would be evaluating some of the areas that he can think about in terms of investment. But think about this way: this is a wonderful opportunity. Whoever put this program together have done a wonderful job, great job. Kudos to you, and congratulations for putting it together. And but this is not something that just a program or a conference. It's a beginning of a larger opportunity. It's just a first step towards the larger success we are likely to see. And I'm glad Mr. K.D. Sharan, Sri Lankan High Commissioner to Chennai and southern states, is putting his heart and soul out to bring best of the investments. And the goal is very simple: create jobs where people live. We don't have to force people to leave to find new opportunities. And with that said, the role of government institutions should also be very clear. Institution must act like an enablers. Or every single institution, whether it's universities or school, or even a government sector, has to act like an enablers and tap these leaders from across the globe, tap investors from across the globe, and give the right incentives, make sure that ease of business is happening, the tax system is should be fair and everything. So we have to be very clear on what we are doing. We have to have the vision is there, but the execution also should be very seamless when investors come in. And that is how we promote these transparent regulations, startup friendly policies, private public partnership, and all those things. And to the greatest asset of northern Sri Lanka, right? That my youths, my brothers and sisters, we must ensure for them, we must ensure the AI and digital skills are accessible, and education should align with future jobs. Domain specific uh, skills are very important. If you are a farmer, if you're doing pharma, it's very important that you have this domain specific skill sets. AI is going to be enabler. AI is going to be a great leveler. It will be used for every single person, every single industry, starting with the moment you wake up, the moment you touch your phone, to the time you go to bed. AI is going to be part and parcel of your life. So make no mistake about it. It's not something somewhere and we're talking about it. It's already living with you. So young people should believe they can succeed without leaving home, but we need to bring more capital into this region. We need to give that first capacity building, bring the capital, promote innovation, entrepreneurship, and I imagine Northern Sri Lanka where Tamil entrepreneurs build global companies, right? There can be another Microsoft, Google, SpaceX. Anything can happen there if we believe in it. And innovation clusters would create a sustainable job. And this is not a charity. Economic growth has to be inclusive and resilient, right? And this is what we call as economic justice through opportunity. And what I'm going to close is this AI era gives Northern Sri Lanka a rare moment in history to rebuild this region with a purpose, to rebuild the island with a purpose, and to grow with dignity and to lead with innovation. Economic progress for Northern Sri Lanka or Tamils or Sinhalese is not separate from Sri Lanka's future. It is very essential to it. And let us build a North and the entire island that is not defined by what it endured over the last decades, but by what it creates, right? With that said, Tamil Varha, and all the very best to each and every one that is a part and parcel of this conference, and great job each to the organizers that have put together. And with that, good luck and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Welcome to the Northern Investment Summit 2026.